Hello, Ian here from Dark Elves Workshop. Welcome back to another video. This is the fourth part of the Dark Elves Army. Right, so in this one we're looking at the cavalry. So we're looking at the MM71 and the MM72s, which is the cold ones. The Dark Riders. Now, whether you want to call them the Doom Steeds and the Doom Drakes, it's totally up to you, but we'll cover all that in the video. It gets a bit confusing at the start with the Marauder adverts, but at the end of the day, they're horses and cold ones, so let's get on with it. Okay, so start off at the beginning. We'll go back to the Warhammer Armies book, and in this, it gave you the bestiary for the Dark Elves, and they gave us two different troop types. You got for the horses, you got the Dark Riders, and you got the Doom Steeds, and for the cold ones, you got the Doom Drakes and the Hell Drakes. Now, you can also see here that that artwork, I used that as inspiration to get the banners done. That and obviously that one that they used with the MA1 Marauder Dark Elf Army as well. So we'll get on with some of the White Dwarf issues now, and we'll show you the history behind the army. Okay, so White Dwarf 121, January 1990. This is the first appearance of the MA1 Dark Elf Army deal. And they nicknamed it, or they came up with a character anyway, Karasashala, and these were his reavers. Remember Karasashala, we'll come on to that later on. But the breakdown of the army, you got 78 Dark Elves, 4 Warhounds, the 2 Welt Masters, and then you got a Dark Lord and a Death Dealer on cold ones. So we got 3 characters there basically, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, and the Hounds. But you look at some of the pictures, and they've fattened out all the units using the Dark Elf Regiment guys, because if you have a look at the Witch Elves picture in particular, there's only 5 there. Now those are the 5 they used for the advert. I never actually saw the other 5 painted, so they filled them out with other models from the army. But this came in a package for, how much was it? 50 quid. I thought it was a pretty good deal at the thinking about it, but I never actually took them up on the offer. I should have. And then following on from these pages, then they give us a little write-up of Karasashala's reavers and how they invaded Orthuan and stuff like that. But the thing about the name, they kept changing it back and forth, but we'll come on to that later on. Okay, so moving on to White Dwarf 124, came out in April 1990, so this is the first instance of the Dark Elf Cavalry, or the MM72, basically Dark Riders. They came in individual blisters. In each blister you got the shield, the legs, the horse, and then you got 2 weapons that are attached to the horse. So you've got the crossbow and the lance that you can see up the top. And then you had an option of 7 different weapons then, so you got 2 swords, a mace, a crossbow, and 3 variants of lance. And then one of the 5 different body types. Now, funny thing about this advert is there's no price on it. I've just noticed. But talking about the body types, there was an unlisted one that I never actually saw in a catalogue, where he's firing a 2-handed crossbow. It wasn't particularly rare. I picked him up in a few blisters over the years. But I'm not sure why it was catalogued, but if you do. So moving on to White Dwarf 125, this came out May 1990, and this is the first time that we see the Cold One Riders. You notice the catalogue numbers MM71 for the Cold One Riders. We've already seen the MM72 Dark Elf Cavalry, but the one thing to note that there's an additional hand weapon now with a repeating crossbow. But yeah, the catalogue numbers. When you look at the colour page now with the paint jobs, you'll see that the numbers are different. You've got MM71 Dark Elf Cavalry and MM72 Cold Ones, so it seems like a schoolboy error to me. But at least we got a price this time, so we know they're $2.50 each. Yeah, the colour schemes are great on this. I wish I'd stuck to a red and black one. It totally screams Dark Elves to me. Lovely. And then this one with the blue armour, I think probably Mr. Kent Martin got a few ideas from this picture maybe.
So moving on to White Dwarf 133. This is January 91. Still got the MA1 Army deal, and it's still only £50 for the set. That's still a good deal. On the back page you've got it set up against one of the other deals that they had running at the same time as Grimm's Marauders, Orc and Goblins, but this is the one I'm more interested in. 138 is June 91. This is the last time we see the army deal, and they're pushing some cavalry onto it now as well. But if you read the text at the top, it's Kara Sashala's Reavers again. So why that's come back, I don't know. But the noticeable thing here is that the price has increased to £80 now for this section of the army. And they've also brought in the cavalry side of it, and they've called it the MA6 Dark Elf Cavalry. So in this one you get basically 10 cavalry for, I think it's £63. So it's still a pretty good deal. But the thing is, they've gone back to Karashala's Reavers now on the top of the page. I despair really. But 3,000 point army for 140 quid can't be bad though, can it? The other thing was the price increases here. There's a little note at the bottom that due to rising lead prices and inflation, they had to increase the prices. So I think we were looking at what, £2.50 in the last issue, and now it's gone up to, well, I'd say about £3.20 maybe for a cavalry unit, a single blister of cavalry. Sad times.
Okay, so moving on to the blisters. As you can see, there's an array of different colours, but we'll go through them one by one. So first up is the Dark Elf Cavalry, the MM72s. At least I got the catalogue number right on the blisters. Yeah, the famous red and black livery. The only thing is, on the back, the copyright is 1988. Now that makes me wonder what was going on between 88 when they obviously printed off these cards, but they didn't put the adverts in White Dwarf till what, 1991? If anybody knows, again, please let me know. But yeah, that's the MM72s. So the next incarnation of the livery is the old Warhammer red and yellow ones, but you notice they've still got Marauder Miniatures on them. So these are dated 92, so that will fall in line with the 4th edition coming out, and the price rise on the last army deal that we saw in 138, so that was, what was that, mid 91, the price increase came in, so that confirms they went up by £1, which back then is quite a hefty hike. So next up is the MM71 Doom Drakes, or the Cold One Riders. Now these have got the same card as the other ones back in 88, but at least they got the catalogue number right on this one, MM71. They later came out in, well, this is across the pond. Our colonial cousins will probably recognise this livery. I think this was 4th edition as well, but these have got Citadel miniatures on them and not Marauder. So if you just check the date, and they're 1993. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get these from Evil Bay. But, I will paint them up one day. Okay, so this is a bit of a strange one. We've got an 72, 71 rider, but we have a plastic horse. And I guarantee that the rider's legs won't fit that horse, because I know how narrow the cold ones are, compared to the plastic horses. I think there's quite a significant difference between them, so I can't see that working at all. Again, this is from the US. No idea if they came out in the UK in this guise. I don't think so. I don't know what they were thinking. Again, 1993. So that's again the 4th edition. Last but not least, Dark Elf Heroes. MM74 was the catalogue number. I never saw them in White Dwarf. I don't think ever. I've had a good check through, but you know, if you have seen an advert, let me know and I'll update the video. But there were 2 different heroes that you could get, both female. So I used one as a sorceress on a dragon, and I put the other one in a unit of cold ones. And I think these only came with cold ones as well. I don't think they appeared with horses. But yeah, very nice. Never saw them ever printed in White Dwarf. It's weird. Okay, so here's the 12-man unit of the Dark Riders. I was talking about the hair colours in one of the previous episodes, and decided to have a look at my old paint recipe book, and because I write all my recipes down, you see, and it's good to refer to if I want to do another unit down the line. But I'm looking at some of the paints that I've used through this army, and I'm starting to panic now, because they're the old Citadel Foundation paints like Necron Abyss, Deneb Stone, Iandin, what was it? Iandin Dark Sun is the desaturated yellow. So I'm starting to think, run out, but I don't regret using them, because I like the Necron Abyss in the hair, because I added Deneb Stone to that to get the highlights on it. So it's, I think it goes quite well with the colour scheme. The Iandin Sun was mixed with burnished gold. You can't get that one now either. So I'm going to have to start thinking if I've got another 2 units to add to this, but it won't be for about a year or 2 yet. But I'm starting to think, am I going to be able to get hold of these colours? But we'll see. The other thing was the golds are all burnished gold. You know, the skull motifs on there, they're all burnished gold on their own, but I use chestnut ink. Now that's another one, another one on the list that's is getting fairly rare as well. So if I'm going to do them, I'm going to have to do them soon before the paint dries up in the pot. But anyway, that's enough of that. We've got 2 ranks of 6. They've all got lances apart from the hero in the middle. I think it's a great pose with that sword outstretched. Again, the banner is from Jonas. I think he did a great job on this one as well. This is just based on the Marauder logo, and kept the theme of the vines on there as well. But yeah, usual. Sorry about that. Usual themed scenic base on it as well, using the Lord of the Rings ruins. And I've put a strip in between the front rank and the back rank to just space things out a bit, because the tails will be right on the snouts of the second rank, so gives them a bit of extra room. And the icon on top of the standard, that's from a Bob Naismith standard bearer. I just used it because the skull looked pretty cool and it fits the theme. So let's move on to the cold ones next. Okay, so the cold ones. I've only got 10 of these. it was a conscious decision to use the hand weapons and quite a few of the crossbows on this one. I've used the MM74 hero here, the sorceress. I don't know if that is female actually. I don't know. Probably male. But no, it's really cool because they're holding a scroll and they've got another two on their belts. These were the let me get a pointy stick. These were the legs that you get. There's more cloth on these than the chainmail and the shin guards on the other one, so they're pretty cool. But I decided to keep it a purple colour scheme to go with the rest of the army. The skin for these was Kislev flesh with pallid witch flesh. That was like a mix of 60% pallid and then 40% Kislev, and a sepia wash. And then I went for the base coat back on again, but with more pallid in it, and then highlight with pallid on its own. And I think it turned out all right. I've got a couple of the crossbows I was talking about earlier. I've got one in the rear rank as well, but we've got quite a few crossbows, single-handed crossbows in there with the shields. So yeah, I was quite happy with this one. I've added a statue, as you can see there. Same gold recipe. The cold ones were, I think it was Nurgling green for the lighter shade, and then Deathworld Forest, Castellan Green, Incubi Darkness, Camo Shade Wash. And I think it's like a standard cold one recipe really. But, I found one online that just stuck to that. It's more for speed really than for making a decent paint job out of them. I just wanted them done quickly, and I think it worked quite well. And the icon is similar to the Dark Riders as well. But the standard is just a basic skull with the eye patch for Marauder, and then the heart as a running theme as well through the standards. So there we are, 10 Cold One Riders. I think it's one of my favourite units actually, mainly because of the sorcerer, but yeah, very nice. So let's move on to the dragon next. So the other MM74 hero is the other sorceress. She's got a lovely staff. I can't remember where I saw the stripe in the hair from. I think it was one of the assassin paint jobs from the Marauder advert maybe. One of those guys had a white stripe through his hair. I thought that'd look pretty cool on the sorceress, so that's what we stuck to there. So Marauder didn't make a dragon, as you probably know. So I pinched this dragon from, I think it was a 6th edition Malekith Black Dragon, and a totally plastic kit, but I think she goes quite well with this model, so I'm stuck with that. Trying to keep a purple colour scheme going through the dragon as well, and I got a nice fade on the wings using the airbrush there just to lighten them slightly. I think it looks pretty cool. And then just bleach bone with white then to pick out spines, horns, claws, teeth. It only took about a couple of days really. I think the worst thing to do was the actual spines. But, yeah, we got there eventually, and used some of the ruins to keep the theme going on the base as well. Okay, so there we are, finished part 4 of the Marauder Dark Elf Army. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for all the support so far on the Old Hammer group. Keep the faith. So there's one more episode to come, and that'll be more or less a wrap up of all the other figures. So we've got the Welt Masters, the Hounds, and the Hydra as well, which I haven't finished, so I need to get a wiggle on and get that done ready for the next episode. So that's it from me for now. Enjoy the nice stuff coming up now, so there's nice pictures. We'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.